I told my friend why I don't want to date him, and our friends are saying I broke him. Am I the asshole here? So my 21 female, friend of 10 years, Mark, not real name, 23 male, called me yesterday to meet him for lunch and that he had something important to discuss with me. I had free time, so I agreed. I met him already there and joined him. We had lunch, and then we talked a bit about random things. Then he cleared his throat and started speaking. He first told me that he didn't understand why I was dating my now boyfriend when he's a better match for me. I asked him to explain, and he basically went on about how he liked me first and he met me first. He's more good-looking, knows me better, he's taller than my boyfriend and more successful, which is not true, by the way. My boyfriend works aside from growing up in wealth, while Mark's entire life is funded by his parents' money. He told me he doesn't understand how I can be with him when he's always been around waiting for me. I was out of words and asked him if he wanted me to be honest, to which he said yes. I told him that I'd never want to date him given how I've seen the way he treated his past girlfriends. He ghosts them when he feels like it and just expects them to be there waiting. I told him that he's too immature and irresponsible for me and that dating him would be exhausting. I also explained that the reasons I mentioned were why, over time, I started putting a distance between us, because I didn't like the way he treated the women in his life. When I was done, he was just quiet. He excused himself and left. I went home and went about my day. Later in the evening, our other friends started asking what I did to Mark and that he's been a wreck since he met me for lunch. He's drinking and not telling anyone what happened. I explained to them what happened, and they're saying I was harsh and that I broke him, blah blah blah. But I think someone had to tell him the truth. So Reddit fam, am I the asshole? In the comments, Catherine Sede says, not the asshole. Even if you had kinda liked him. I feel like declaring his feelings by being rude about your current partner is such a turn-off. He doesn't say anything meaningful or romantic about you, just that he thinks he's better than your actual boyfriend, so you should date him instead. That is so entitled, right? Like it's a competition with another guy and he forgot the end goal. Maybe compliment the woman that you're after instead of complimenting yourself via her boyfriend. So tone-deaf and zero self-awareness. This dude sounds like such a douche. It's the I met you first comment for me. So does that mean that my mum's OBGYN had dibs on me? Get out of here with that bullshit. Not the asshole. He literally talked about you and treated you like a piece of property. That alone would be enough to say not interested. The fact that this is how he treats all his prior girlfriends shows you who he is. Anyone who claims telling him the truth broke him and that you were too harsh is not someone that you want in your life either. I would stop being friends with all of them. You are the company that you keep. You didn't break him. His ego is just bruised. Rejection is a part of life, and it's on him to learn from it, not the asshole. P.S. He did ask you to be honest, and you gave him exactly that. Exactly. Honestly, sometimes people think that the world owes them a romance just because they've been waiting. And nope, life doesn't work that way. She was just being real, and honestly, he needed that reality check. I've been waiting for years for Tom Hardy to notice me and to realize what he's been missing all these years. Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of pathetic that he did all that. I feel like anyone that has any relationship experience will know that what he did came across as sad and desperate and delusional, that no normal human being operates that way. It makes me question how much experience this guy has, or if he's experiencing delusions of grandeur. He's just been like hyping himself up so much in private that he's like, of course I'm a catch, anyone would want me. So because I view myself so highly, of course when I bring this information to OP, she's gonna have no choice but to break up with her boyfriend because I'm the bigger catch here. Why wouldn't she want to date me? And obviously he didn't want the truth, he just wanted to be lied to. You can see it by how fragile he is. That one rejection sent him into a spiral and he went and drank his sorrows away. Lil bro is not ready for the real world, Jesus Christ. Back up to the post, there's an edit/update. I know everyone says this, but whoa. I didn't think this post would blow up so much. I'm trying to get through the comments and answer some questions that are there. I was sort of occupied the whole day, so I just opened Reddit. Thank you for all the comments, honestly. I'm overwhelmed by them in a good way. Most are really funny, and I've been laughing so much I woke my sister's baby. I've sent my post to my friend that's not associated with Mark, and our group chat is blowing up with more laughter. But in all seriousness, I'm thankful for the great comments and people giving advice on my safety. I'll definitely be more aware of my surroundings going forward. I don't know Mark as a violent person, but then again, this incident has proved that I may not know him like I think I do. Mark is currently blocked from everything. Our mutual friends who were supporting him and calling me out are also blocked. And this is a learning lesson to me, to distance myself a lot more quicker next time I see red flags in future friendships. Thank you again, Reddit. If anything happens, I'll update you all. Our next post is by user SamXBlue, and it's titled, "Am I the asshole here for what I said to my stepsister after she read my private journals?" So, my mum died 5 years ago when I was 12. My dad remarried about 3 years ago. His new wife Stacy came with a daughter who is now 12, I'm 17. Stacy looks like she tried to be a model in a small town catalog once and never got over it. She's loud, but honestly, I just stay out of her way. I don't have a close relationship with her daughter either, because she's basically her mini-me. As for my dad, he's always been a keep the peace kind of guy, even when my mum was alive. He just hates any kind of confrontation, so he let people walk all over him, which means he let Stacy and her daughter do whatever the fuck they wanted, so yeah, we don't feel like family at all. Anyway, after my mum died, I started journaling. It's the one thing that helped me. At first, I was just writing letters to her, telling her about school and how much I missed her. Now, it's just where I put everything. How much I can't stand Stacy, dumb shit happening at school, the fact I have a massive crush on this girl in my chem class. They are literally my brain on paper, and I keep them in my desk drawer, never out in the open. So I got home around 3 days ago, and I hear laughing coming from my room. I open the door, and my stepsister and her friend are on my floor with my journals spread out around them. She was reading them out loud in a stupid, mocking voice. She was reading a part about how I was having a bad day and just wanted to talk to my mum. They were laughing their asses off, and then she flipped to a part about my crush and was like, "Ew, she likes girls." I really don't even remember what I said, because I just started screaming at them to get the fuck out of my room. My dad and Stacy ran in because her friend started screaming. Literally, she was too loud, acting as if I was gonna kill them or something, and my stepsister immediately started crying, saying they were just joking and that I was being crazy. My dad just tells me I'm overreacting and that she's just a kid and she didn't mean any harm, that I'm basically an adult and stuff. Literally, before I could even explain myself, he already took her side. He then told me that I shouldn't have left my journals where she could find them. I was so pissed, I looked at him and said something like, "Of course you'd say that. You haven't given a shit about me or mum since they moved in." Then I turned to my stepsister and said, "Don't ever talk to me again, you're so fucking weird and disgusting." Stacy gasped and dragged her sobbing daughter out of the room. My dad just looked at me with this disappointed face and walked out. It's been dead silent in the house ever since. They're all acting like I'm this huge monster who needs to apologize and kinda giving me the cold shoulder. I know what I said was mean, but I feel like she crossed a line that you can't come back from. Am I the asshole here? In the comments, Losticus says, "Not the asshole. Your dad is your only parent left, and he's not going to stick up for you. You don't have any choice but to do it for yourself. Is what you said a little mean? Yeah. But will it get your point across? Also, yes. Therapy could help you guys as a family, but everyone has to want to participate." I agree. You definitely are not the one at fault here. Having your private thoughts read out loud and mocked is a huge breach of trust, and it's natural to react strongly. Sure, your words were harsh, but they came from a place of hurt and betrayal, not malice. Your feelings deserve to be acknowledged, not dismissed. I'm sorry that you had to experience that. Not the asshole in my book. Stepsister had no business reading your journals or sharing them with a stranger. Your family has no apparent understanding of privacy or respect for boundaries. Tell your father that you want family counseling and respect for your personal boundaries. If he doesn't agree, perhaps you can talk to a school counselor. You have less than a year before you're an adult and can legally move out. So start collecting important documents like birth certificate, social security card, and any other documents to take with you that might help you with school or employment. Do you have any grandparents or maternal relatives you can reach out to? If so, you might be able to store your private things with them to keep them safe. Yeah, no, I completely get where OP is coming from in this instance. And yes, her father is taking his new family's side over hers. And it doesn't really, to me, sound like OP is a part of this new family. If OP was a part of this family, there would be equal punishment and equal treatment. Yet there is not. That tells me that they view this younger child as the golden child. Let's just be honest. What this 12-year-old did to OP was incredibly messed up. Yeah, it was childish, because of course, she herself is still a child, but that should be met with punishment. That should not be met with punishing and threatening OP for defending herself, for standing up for herself. No, OP, you're not an asshole for what you said to your stepsister. Were you supposed to just let her walk all over you? Were you supposed to just accept disrespect in your household? What message is your dad trying to send here? And now, on to the update. Hey everyone, hope you're all doing great. I want to start by saying that I'm genuinely sorry for not responding to everyone individually, but I read all of the comments, and to everyone who reached out in my DMs, you guys are great. Seriously. Not a whole lot has happened, but a few of you asked for an update, so here it is. First, to answer the questions I kept seeing, yes, I have a part-time job, and I'm saving up. The plan is to move out the second I turn 18, and no, my dad isn't homophobic. He was actually really supportive when I came out a few years ago. Stacy isn't either, surprisingly. Honestly, I think her dad just did it because she wanted her friend to think that she was cool for making fun of the girl kisser. Anyway, after reading all of your comments and making sure I wasn't actually a monster, I just decided to stop trying. I'm not going to be rude, but I'm not going to go out of my way to pretend that we're a happy family anymore. I just act the way that they deserve. Like 2 days after I posted, my dad came into my room and was like, "Hey, we ordered pizza from your favorite place if you want some." I just said no thanks. He looked genuinely disappointed and said that he'd leave some for me in the fridge. I felt kinda bad for like a second, but then I remembered that he's the one who let this happen, so I don't care. He has been trying to start conversations with me since then, but I just give 1 or 2 word answers and he eventually gives up. Stacy made her daughter give me this super forced apology in the kitchen the other day. She was just staring at the floor and mumbled, "I'm sorry for reading your diary and being rude." I just said thanks and didn't even look up from my phone. The house is quiet now, which is a massive improvement to be honest. I'm just doing my thing, focusing on work, and getting out of here. I did go see that new anime movie I was excited about with my friend yesterday, and it was awesome. Shout out Nerja too. Anyways, thanks again everyone for confirming I wasn't losing my mind. For real. It helped. In the comments, Masked Crocheter asks, "Is putting a locking door handle on your bedroom door an option? I've done it in some of the places that I've lived in, and the trick is to keep the original in a gallon Ziploc baggie in your closet so they can change it back after you leave. Something with a key that only you had a copy of. Not only will this protect your stuff, but it will make it very clear that you don't trust any of them and you don't intend for that to change." Honestly, OP should demand that Dad pay for the locks since he's the one who thinks that OP should have better protected her diary. I think it'll be better if OP takes the time to learn how to install it and does it herself. It'll show that she's serious about not trusting anyone in the house, which, when it's boiled down, is the crux of the issue. Sometimes you just need to match energy. Give people what they give you. Your family didn't treat you like family, so now you don't have to do it for them. You probably have a bunch of Reddit aunts and uncles now who are wishing you the best. If you remember, please let us know when you get out on your own. I was also one of those kids who left the minute they turned 18 too. It can be stressful and isolating, but the peace that it brought outweighed the bad immensely. Look your dad right in the eyes and in a very cold voice, tell him that your mum would be so disappointed in him. Some fucking pizza isn't going to make his spinelessness go away. Man, part of me wants to say that your stepsister is just a kid and kids do stupid crap, but the logical part of my brain tells me you're a kid too, who had her trust massively broken by the only parent that you have left, and the little brat responsible is clearly not sorry for what she did. Nah, you were not the asshole in the previous post, bud, and you're not the asshole now. Definitely agree with other commenters though, save your money, keep your head down, and run as soon as possible. You're gonna be okay, kid. Couldn't agree with that more. It sucks that nothing really came of this situation, that it seems to me like the parents are doubling down and refusing to bridge the gap that they have created between themselves with, the dad with a daughter, this new woman with now her stepdaughter. Logically, this situation should not happen. They should snap out of their senses and treat OP better and make things right in the household, but for some reason they just refuse to. That is so incredibly sad. He's choosing to alienate himself for his daughter to kowtow to his new woman? Why? What for? What does he gain from that? She could just up and leave him one day, and when that happens, he has no one. Does he not have the foresight to see how much he stands to lose by doing what he's doing here? It's just so sad. I really do hope OP moves out as soon as she's 18 and learns to support herself and stay away from that asshole. I think he's just such a spineless and heartless individual, that dad. Our next post is by user Let Jealous, and it's titled, "Am I the asshole for kicking my sister-in-law out of my house? Sorry for any mistakes, English is not my first language. Here's some backstory. I, 29 female, have been married to my husband, 30 male, for 1 year. We dated for 2 years and were engaged for 1 year, so a total of 4 years. It's important to mention that I'm a black woman, hubby is a Korean American. So I grew up in Europe, moved to the States for work after uni, met my now husband, but at first we were just friends. One of the girls in my office introduced me to her friend group when I moved here since I didn't know anyone. Anyways, my in-laws were very welcoming, my husband has a big family, and we got along well because I also come from a big family, being the oldest of 5. I love to cook for my family and friends, so the first time I met his parents, I made an effort to learn a little bit about their culture and made some Korean dishes. My husband wanted to host his family, so I agreed and asked him if I could cook. He told me that we could just order some takeout, and I told him absolutely not. My mother would disown me if she heard the first time I met my in-laws, I served them takeout. Come the dinner, present were my parents-in-law and my husband's brothers and their partners. My husband is the middle child. His older brother is married to a white woman, which is important to make note, and his younger brother came with his girlfriend. Dinner coming to an end, my mother-in-law told me she's happy that her son found someone and she loved my cooking. I was happy until my sister-in-law, older brother's wife, started making really nasty comments like, "I mean, it's just fried chicken. Her kind makes it all the time. She's," referring to me, "probably not gonna last, so why make an effort to be nice?" Yikes. Why she gotta post cringe on men like that? Everyone heard the comments, but kept on trying to distract me. My father-in-law made a joke about my sister-in-law's cooking skills in Korean, and I sneered. He noticed and asked me if I could speak Korean, and I said yes, explained how I always loved to learn new languages, and I lived in Korea for 3 years when I was younger, when my dad was assigned to work at our country's embassy in Korea. The racist comments kept on going for a long time until I reached my point and almost called off my wedding. It was affecting my mental health, and before you guys ask why not just go no contact, my husband's family has a tradition to have family lunch every Saturday. Everyone's presence is mandatory. Baby brother-in-law is getting married. Yes, the same girl from when we met. I love them both like they are my own siblings. Since my baby sister-in-law doesn't have any family in the country and we actually became like sisters, she asked me to be her maid of honor and I said yes. My mother-in-law, to keep the peace, asked if sister-in-law, the devil's spawn, could be in the wedding party. She told baby sister-in-law she understood if she wanted to decline, but that the girl is such an angel and a better person than me because I would be hell to the no. But anyways, fast forward to yesterday, bachelorette party. We decided to have dinner and pre-drinks at my house. We're all having fun and having drinks, and I notice Devil Spawn's sister-in-law is missing. I go look for her and find her in my closet and asked her what she was doing, and she said nothing and left. I came back downstairs and rejoined the party. The girls asked me when I was planning on having kids, and when I'm about to answer, Devil Spawn's sister-in-law goes, "Can you imagine a monkey with pulled eyes? She's probably just waiting for her green card to be able to divorce X, my husband." With the alcohol and all of the rage that I've been keeping inside, I exploded and told her nobody likes her. We all tolerate her because we adore her husband. She's just a bitter woman who judges people based on their skin tone, with a total of 2 friends and a family that doesn't want her around. She got up to slap me, and I grabbed her wrist and told her to get the fuck out of my house. After she left, we tried to go back to the festivities, but no one was in the mood. I woke up to a bunch of texts from my brother-in-law, older brother, saying that he had enough of me bullying his wife, and he thought that I was a better person, blah blah blah. I showed my husband the texts that Devil Spawn is sending and his brother, and he called his brother to tell him to stop, and before making any judgments, he should have heard both sides since he knows who he married. My parent-in-laws have now been involved and scheduled a family meeting, and what was supposed to be a magical week for baby brother-in-law and sister-in-law turned into a shit show because I couldn't hold my tongue. So am I the arsehole for kicking my sister-in-law out of my house? In the comments, not the arsehole. You probably could have just kicked her out without saying anything else to her, but honestly, that woman is just a racist piece of shit. The only reason not to say those things is to maintain the moral high ground, but everyone has their breaking point. Actually, I think everybody else at the party should have been sticking up for you. It's crazy that nobody has been correcting her when she said these things. That in itself is protecting the bigot instead of the victim. She is a bully. It's a shame that her well-deserved comeuppance would drag you down too. Not the arsehole, 1,000 times not. Actually, as a black woman, there is a time to put the trash out, light it on fire, and watch it burn. Racists don't respect morality. They view it as a weakness and will keep at it. OP wouldn't have needed to do it herself if I was at that bachelorette party. Spawn's feet wouldn't have touched the floor on her way out of the door. OP says, "Thank you so much. As the eldest, I'm used to being the one to keep the peace, but I just reached my limit. I think it was mainly because it was in my house, the space that's supposed to be my safe place." I, too, am very curious as to why so much of the family is so silent on the racism that that woman is just spewing. And so too her husband. Her husband probably has experienced way more of her racism in person. It's not like he wasn't there at the family dinner where she was saying all that shit to OP's face, and yet he comes out in text message to OP and is like, "Why are you causing such a scene? What's wrong with you?" I understand the need for a family meeting and everything, OP, but I would question the company that you're surrounded with if they're all so cool with her actions. And that you responding to this blatant disrespect, to this attack on you, these continuous attacks, somehow making you the problem, it doesn't make any sense to me. I agree with you as well. This is really unfair to baby brother-in-law and baby sister-in-law. This was supposed to be a magical week for them, and she can't help herself. She had to cause some bullshit. If this update doesn't include that whole family disowning her and kicking her out of any of these family events, I'm going to be majorly disappointed. And now, onto the update. Hey everyone, it's been a crazy few weeks. On to what happened. So we all went to the family meeting. My mother-in-law started by thanking me and baby sister-in-law for coming. She knows that we didn't want to be there, but we went so that we can be there for our partners. Devil Spawn and brother-in-law arrived. We all sat down, and my father-in-law asked me to start and explain my side of things, since Devil Spawn made her husband call his parents to tell them what I did. I told everything I've been holding inside since the beginning. I explained that at some point I wanted to walk away from my husband because I couldn't take it anymore. Devil Spawn tried to interrupt me several times, but my in-laws told her that she can either shut up or leave. After me, baby sister-in-law told her side of things of what happened, and that she knew my mother-in-law wanted Devil Spawn in the bridal party to make peace and to try and get everyone to get along. But she didn't want someone like Devil Spawn near her, or her wedding, because she would find a way to make it about her, and she didn't want to be associated with a person like Devil Spawn. My mother-in-law was shocked when I showed her the text messages that I got from Devil Spawn. I have most of the texts that she sent me over the years. My mum is a judge, so she always told me and my siblings to keep records of everything. Brother-in-law, Devil Spawn's husband, was very quiet, so my husband turned to him and asked, "Still believe your wife is the one being bullied?" He asked to be excused and just left Devil Spawn to run after him. Well, baby sister-in-law and brother-in-law's wedding happened, and it was amazing. We had a great time. Since they're only starting their lives now, they could only afford a honeymoon in the country, so me and hubby decided to surprise them on their wedding day. We pulled them aside and offered them an all-expenses-paid trip for them to Italy that baby sister-in-law always wanted to visit. On to the drama. Last week, brother-in-law, Devil Spawn's soon-to-be ex-husband, called me and asked if he could come over to talk to me and my husband, and I said yes. He came over and explained that he's getting a divorce. We found out that Devil Spawn had bullied someone in college to the point the person had tried to take their own life. Her parents cut her off when she would make comments like that to the kids they fostered. Brother-in-law told us a lot more, but yeah, you guys get the picture. Brother-in-law moved out and rented an apartment, and now Devil Spawn thinks that it's my fault to a point where she goes to my office and starts screaming, has been following me, and she's getting so unhinged that my husband has been taking me to work and picking me up afterwards. We're in the process of requesting a restraining order. Edit, just to clarify a few things. 1. My parents-in-law tried to stay out of it, even though they did see a few things. They never said anything because they didn't want to pick sides. They never thought that it was this bad. Both mother and father-in-law have been apologizing since we all sat down. I told them I understand, in a way, why they never said anything, but I did wish that they could have said something sooner. But then again, I hate confrontations, and I let it go on for longer than it should have. 2. For what Devil Spawn was doing in my closet, nothing is missing, so I believe she was looking for my maid of honor dress, which was at baby sister-in-law's apartment, thankfully. 3. My husband wanted to cut his family off for my sake, but I never allowed it. I also come from a big family, and not everyone gets along all the time, and I never wanted him to have to choose between them or me, but he is always on my side and spoke up. And 4, for those saying this post is all lies and things because we paid for their honeymoon, both me and my husband make good money. We normally take a trip out of the country every year in October to go see my family, and because it's around my great-grandma's birthday. We won't go this year because we choose to use that money for baby sister-in-law and baby brother-in-law. In the comments, Fire or Water Kai says, "This is so far from over. Please protect yourself and don't go anywhere alone for a while. I'm glad she's got some consequences, but eek." This is one of the first ones in the sub where the parents actually came through. Usually the parents will enable the shit behavior, but these held a proper intervention. OP says, "They're amazing. They always try and stay neutral, but they actually came through." This is so lovely to hear. Most of the time, staying neutral just means enabling the bad behavior. But your in-laws actually listened and held her accountable. It's surely a relief to finally have their support in this. Stay strong and do not engage with her. This is the kind of person that needs to be the victim. She feeds on it and will let everyone know what she has been through as an excuse to do and say whatever she wants. Good for you and brother-in-law to get away from her, but I have a feeling this has only begun. He is leaving her, and you said she doesn't have many friends, so everything is going to crash down, and she just might try to take everyone with her into her misery. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.